cooking. See, we're a kitchen religion. That's another thing. Now, why someone would be attracted to come with us? You'd be shocked how many devotees have become devotees because it started with the tongue. Listen, I love to eat. Love to eat. And I love good food. I love the infinite varieties of spices and different flavors, from the exotic to the tropical to the basic potato. But it's just fascinating in Krishna consciousness what you can learn to do with some very simple things. I mean, do you realize milk can be prepared in thousands of ways? Thousands. Not just the cold milk you drink with your cereal or, like that. So many things. You can turn it into cheese, different cheese products. You could turn it into butter. You can turn it into clarified butter, the ghee, to cook the other foods with, to give it this distinct flavor that is just, you eat it, that was cooked in ghee. We become very expert. We're kitchen religion. And I have to say to you, our food is the absolute best. And we can cook things that would blow your mind. I mean, we cook barbecue. We have a barbecue that you would swear that you were eating meat. But it's better because it's no carb in it. You're not eating dead flesh. You're eating food that gives life. You're eating the food stuff, the Krishna conscious foodstuffs that are prepared for Krishna in our temples with love and devotion. That's another thing. You never know what you're getting when you eat outside. You don't know. That guy didn't like the way you look when you came in. So he could scratch before he touched that food and put his finger in here and there and put it in your food. You never know. What to speak of the mentality and the consciousness. Right? You remember eating at your grandmother's house? How she cooked, you knew when you ate, she loved you. You knew that. You remember that feeling? Hey, grandma's hands. Right? The devotees' hands are like that. Because they're doing it for God. They're cooking with love for the Lord. The highest lover. The one lover who they know will never abandon them. Will never hurt them. Will never go away from them. We're cooking for Him. The greatest lover is God. And everyone wants to be loved by someone. And everyone is in search of the greatest love. Who can be a greater lover than God? Krishna. He'll never break your heart. Well,
sometimes.
There's a more esoteric aspect to that. But He'll never abandon you.
That's true.
He'll never misuse you. He will always lift you up to a higher platform of love and devotion. And that love increases eternally. See, as soon as you get back to the real business of going back to the spiritual world, what you've done here in the material world will be just like when you wake up in the morning. You had all kinds of craziness going on in your sleep. When you wake up, it's gone. So when you get back to the spiritual world, it'll be like that. Well, where was it? Okay, anyway, Krishna, you just carry on with your spiritual affairs. So, the miracle of the spiritual world is experienced every day in our lives. Because the science of Krishna consciousness that we're applying is opening up the eyes, is giving us the torchlight of knowledge to see, to envision God's hand working in everything that we do. And that's beautiful. That's reality. People talk about you got to be real. The integrity, be real. Well, if you don't know who you are, how can you be real? You don't even know who you are, and you're talking about reality. You have no idea who you are, and you're trying to demand others' ethical behavior on others, your standards. And you don't know who you are. Again, sane asylum. We're all dictating. But man proposes, God disposes. You have your plan, and God has His. Ours are constantly, continually failing. Krishna's are fail-proof. So again, He says, Sarvadharman Parityagya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. He says, abandon all variety of religiosity and just simply surrender unto me. Aham tvam sabapapebhyo mokashami masucha. And I will protect you from all sinful reactions. I will protect you. I guarantee this. So, you want real insurance? Don't go to Allstate. Chant Hare Krishna. So death is a transition from one body to the next. Now, we're just saying, since you have to transition, don't take another material body. Desires, they're natural. And we're not saying give up desire. What we're saying is dovetail the desires to serve God. And then you get a spiritual body and you break the chain of constantly coming back. Trying to get it right over and over. Doing the wrong thing. You know, if the formula's wrong, if 1 and 1 isn't the formula, you'll never get to 2. So if you're here just revolving, not even endeavoring to understand who you are, if you're in that illusion, living with that illusion, embracing that illusion, living that illusion, destination unknown. The time of death, you die fearfully. And who knows? You can go up and down in the chain of evolution. We throw out the whole concept that Darwinian.
What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life, again, is an opportunity to understand that when you have the human form, you have a unique opportunity to understand things truly as they are. You have the ability to discriminate between what is improper and what is proper. What things that should be done and things that should not. And when real life means that the essence of humanity is manifest in service to the Lord, and by that realization and that connection, you're able to serve life around you. You're able to give the highest thing. You become an instrument. You become a change agent. You become a positive influence on your environment and those around you. You become truly a touchstone because people who come in contact with you actually want to improve their existence. So the meaning of life is to accept God so that you can give God to others.
What has been your experience with God?
Well, my personal experience with God has been that He has allowed me to begin to understand who I am and what my responsibilities in service to Him are, and how actually I can become freed from a suffering, miserable condition. When I first, before I came in contact with Krishna consciousness, I was working, and I was young, very young, and even though I had some religious background from a child, still I kind of ventured out, into the material world and started doing what appeared to be just normal life, going out, getting intoxicated, going to parties and just hanging out with my friends. But as I looked around me, all I saw was people who actually said they loved each other and cared for each other. They were actually fighting and trying to harm each other. So for me, it didn't really make sense. How can you say you love someone when you're treating them in such a way that is contrary to what you're saying? So for me, as Bhakti Pandit was saying, who wants to die? But as a young child, I always thought that death was better than life because it appeared to be more peaceful. Living in a situation where people are always fighting and trying to harm each other and never kind words and things like that, that was not an attractive way of life for me. So I never wanted to live in that kind of environment. So I actually thought death was better, you know, even though I wasn't suicidal, but still I thought death was more peaceful than life. But, you know, as I grew older, you know, things began to change a little bit, but still, you know, it was not a very good place to live. And so when I came in contact with Krishna consciousness, it actually gave me a reason to live, to want to live, you know, and my experience of, as Vakreshwar Pandit Prabhu also was sharing, how in this process of Krishna consciousness, you can take those things which you enjoy doing, which I enjoy cooking. So I can cook for Krishna. So we cook, you know, I can raise my family to learn how to love God, to understand who they are. You can utilize whatever propensities that you have. Say, like, if you're a businessman, you can do business, but you offer the results of your business and, you know, how to build a temple, or how to help, you know, print books on Krishna consciousness. So you utilize what you have in order to help spread Krishna consciousness. And it just really, it gave me a reason to want to live. So, you know, God has done many things, wonderful things. And of course, you know, some people may say, has there been any miracles in your life? But miracles are happening all the time, every day. We just don't take time to see it, to look at it. One of my God brothers, his name is His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, he brought to my attention one day, we had just had breakfast, he was visiting here in Columbus, and one of his normal practices after eating is, like, he likes to take a walk, and he says it helps him to digest. So on this particular day it started raining, so he couldn't go out and walk. So he was just walking around the house, you know, and then he went to the door and he looked out and he said, you know, he said, one cloud, only one cloud, holds thousands of gallons of water, and yet it is light enough to float in the air. You can actually go into that cloud, and it appears to have no kind of substance, but it holds thousands of gallons of water. If you take that same amount of water and try to carry that here on the earth, you would need so much facility just to carry thousands of gallons of water. And he said, you know, these kinds of miracles are happening all around. We just have to open our eyes and pay attention. So miracles are happening every day, at every moment. We just don't take time to appreciate it. So.
Yeah, you know, part of the beauty of nature is that we don't have anything to do with it. I mean, we don't have to, just like that explanation, we don't have to try and artificially put water in a cloud so that when we need it, we can pull a lever or push a button. We don't run out and paste the leaves on the trees every season when spring comes. Miracles are, you're not consciously making your blood run through your veins. Like, okay, let me keep it going through. You're not totally unconscious of it. Even your breathing, it's going on without you. Without your consciousness, it's going on because the soul is there, but you're like a passenger in the machinery of the body, and you have the choice and option to take care of the external form nicely, and you know, you behave. By behaving, you live better in the body. You put nice oil in your car. Isn't it amazing how much attention we give to our cars? And we treat ourselves really bad. We'll eat any damn thing. We do all kinds of craziness physically. But it's amazing how we treat a car. Anyway, so what were we talking? What was the conclusion?
Personal experience with God.
Oh. Again, I could have you here all night about that, because we've seen over and over and over so many inconceivably inexplicable things take place that were truly mystical and beautiful. They were so beautiful and so mystical that we knew that they were not mundane impositions by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, from people being healed to people dying. One of our best friends, closest associates, he died. He left his body a few years back. And we were all there serving him right by his side. Beautiful thing. See, the transition of death for a self-realized soul is a completely different thing. He embraced because he said, the body's no longer useful now. We need to make that change. And so he shared the most profound realizations at that time. You know, it's like when you know that you're going to die. Isn't they say that people become very God conscious at the funeral home, right? When you go to anyone else's funeral, everyone's very somber, very sober then, right? Oh yes, God. Well, so humble then. Even the atheists, when they're the last moment, oh God, please don't. Accident, oh my God, right? It's atheism's temporary state of madness. So, the reality is that those miracles that we encounter every day, how we see God's hand working in so many different things, in so many moments, it becomes, the realization of it becomes more profound, but just to have the realization in itself is the experience that drives us further and further in our practices. We see God's hand in so many things that we do.